Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, today we're pulling some great phrases straight from a SpeakDuo lesson. And just a reminder, if you want to boost your own speaking confidence, you can check out SpeakDuo.com.
Yeah, meet people, practice on video calls. It's great.
Exactly.
So today we're really aiming to help you, our listeners, add that extra bit of sophistication, that natural flow, especially if you're an advanced learner wanting to sharpen things up.
Right. These aren't your basic textbook phrases.
Definitely not. Okay, let's jump right in. First up, to touch grass.
Ah, yes. This one's quite contemporary. You hear it a lot online.
Very Gen Z, right? And it's interesting because it's not just about taking a break.
No, it's more specific. It's really about stepping away from screens, from the digital world.
Right.
And actually, like, reconnecting with the physical offline world. Getting outside, maybe?
So it's different from just disconnecting. Like, I could disconnect but stay inside.
Precisely. Touch grass really implies that physical interaction with reality, often nature, it's more active than just putting your phone down.
Gotcha. Okay, so examples. Maybe after a long week stuck on the computer, you might say.
You'd absolutely say, ugh, after working online nonstop, I desperately needed to touch grass.
Yeah, totally. Or say, in a work context, if a colleague asks about your weekend after you pulled long hours, you could say, well, I was deep in that project report, so come Sunday, I made sure to touch grass, went for a long hike just to clear my head before Monday.
It's a great example. It really captures that need for tangible reality in our screen-heavy lives.
Okay, moving on. When you're online too much or just stuck thinking, you might get, well, caught in a loop.
Yes, caught in a loop. Now, this feels similar to, say, being stuck in a rut, right?
It does, yeah. How is it different?
Well, stuck in a rut usually implies boredom, like your routine is stale, lacking variety. But caught in a loop, that's more about repeating the same thoughts or actions without making any actual progress. Often feels more mental or emotional.
Ah, so it's less about boredom and more about futility, like spinning your wheels.
Exactly, like a mental hamster wheel. Or expending energy, maybe worrying or trying the same failed approach, but getting nowhere.
Right. So you might hear someone talking about a colleague, maybe.
Yeah, like he was totally caught in a loop, just worrying constantly about the presentation, but doing absolutely nothing to prepare for it.
Oh, I know that feeling. Or thinking about like an IELTS question. Maybe, do you sometimes feel caught in a loop with your habits?
Good one. You could answer something like, oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I often feel caught in a loop of procrastination, especially with new tasks. I keep delaying until the last minute, which means I don't actually move forward properly.
Yeah, the key is that lack of progress, that stuckness.
Precisely. No forward momentum.
Okay, so from being stuck, sometimes things can escalate, right? That brings us to spiral over something.
Ooh, yes. Spiral over. This one is about emotional escalation.
It sounds intense. Is it just like overreacting?
Similar, but again, there's a nuance. Overreacting can be a single, perhaps disproportionate response.
Okay.
But spiraling, that implies a process. It's becoming increasingly anxious or stressed about something, often something small initially, until it feels huge and overwhelming, like a downward spiral of worry.
So it grows and grows, like in a work context.
You might see someone, maybe she completely spiraled over a tiny mistake in the quarterly report, convinced it would ruin her promotion chances, even though it was easily fixed.
Right. The feeling becomes way bigger than the actual issue. And for an interview question, perhaps, do you tend to spiral over small decisions?
You could answer honestly, well, sometimes I do, yes. I can overthink simple choices like replaying scenarios in my head until they feel monumental, much more stressful than they need to be.
It really captures that rapid loss of perspective.
From minor issue to major crisis in your head.
Okay, next up, to outsource your decisions. Interesting phrase in our hyper-connected world.
Very. And it's different from just asking for advice, isn't it?
How so?
Well, when you ask for advice, you usually gather input, but you still make the final call.
Right, you retain control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Outsourcing your decisions implies you're actually relying on others to make the choice for you. You're handing over the responsibility for the decision itself.
Ah, okay, so it's like delegating the choice entirely.
Pretty much.
Okay.
In a work setting, you might observe, instead of figuring out that complex problem himself, he basically outsourced his decisions to the project lead rather than trusting his own judgment.
I see. Or maybe responding to a question like, do you ever outsource your decisions?
A common one might be, honestly, yeah. Sometimes for important events, I just ask my friends what I should wear. I kind of outsource that decision to them instead of picking myself.
It does raise questions about, personal agency and trusting yourself.
It really does. A potential pitfall of relying too much on others.
And speaking of decisions, making too many can lead to decision fatigue.
Yes, a very real phenomenon.
Is this just another way of saying you're tired or mentally exhausted?
Not quite. It's more specific. General mental exhaustion can come from anything.
Okay.
Decision fatigue is the exhaustion caused specifically by the sheer number of choices you've had to make.
Ah.
And crucially, it implies that this fatigue weakens your ability to make good decisions later on. Your judgment gets impaired.
That makes sense. So like by the end of the workday.
Exactly. You might feel, by evening, after a day packed with client calls and team choices, decision fatigue hits hard. I can barely even decide what to make for dinner.
Totally relatable. Or if someone asks, do you experience decision fatigue?
You could say, absolutely, especially on days with loads of small decisions. Emails, priorities, quick fixes. By the end, my brain just feels depleted for making any more choices.
Mm-hmm. It really underlines why routines can be so helpful, right? They save that decision-making power. Good point. Okay, next. To build the muscle of something, like a skill. I like this metaphor.
Me too. It's very active. It's not just practicing a skill, is it?
No, practicing could be casual, maybe inconsistent.
Right. Building the muscle of, say, patience or communication.
Mm-hmm.
It implies strengthening that skill through repeated, deliberate effort.
Like physical training.
Exactly. With consistency, maybe feedback.
Yeah.
You're making that skill stronger, more robust, more automatic over time.
So, in a team setting.
You might say, to really level up our team's communication, we need to consciously build the muscle of giving constructive feedback. Practice it regularly. Talk about how it went.
Makes sense. And in an interview, what skill are you trying to build the muscle of?
You can answer, right now I'm actively trying to build the muscle of self-discipline. I'm setting daily goals and really pushing myself to stick to them, even when it feels tough, to make it stronger. It emphasizes that skills aren't fixed. They grow with effort.
Love that. Okay, shifting tone a bit. To go down a dark path. This sounds serious.
It is, yeah. It carries weight. It's more than just making bad choices.
How is it different from, say, heading for trouble?
Heading for trouble might be more immediate or specific. Going down a dark path suggests a more gradual, negative trajectory over time.
Ah, like a pattern.
Yes, a pattern of harmful choices leading toward a really negative or unhealthy state, addiction, isolation, illegal activity, that sort of thing. It implies a worsening situation, often with self-destructive elements.
Okay, so maybe in a news report.
You might hear, sadly, after losing his job and cutting ties with friends, he started going down a dark path.
Right. And for a personal reflection, maybe what helps you avoid going down a dark path?
A thoughtful answer could be, for me, staying connected with supportive friends and engaging in positive hobbies is crucial. That really helps me avoid going down a dark path, especially during challenging times. It highlights that slippery slope, how choices accumulate.
Definitely sobering. Okay, last one. To track your thought loop. This sounds very self-aware.
It is. Very powerful for personal growth. And it's more focused than just self-reflection.
How so?
General self-reflection can be broad. Tracking your thought loop is about specifically observing the recurring habitual patterns in your thinking.
Like what thoughts repeat?
Exactly. What repeats, maybe what triggers those thoughts, why they keep coming back. It's like being a detective about your own mind, noticing the loops you get caught in.
That sounds incredibly useful. So, an example.
You might realize, maybe through journaling, she tracked her thought loop during stressful moments and noticed a consistent pattern of harsh self-criticism. Recognizing that loop was the first step to changing it.
Wow. Or if asked, have you ever tracked your thought loop?
You could share, yes, I started journaling and it really helped me track my thought loop. I saw how I kept repeating negative thoughts about my abilities whenever I faced a challenge. Seeing the pattern made it possible to start challenging those thoughts. It really gets to the heart of identifying those unhelpful mental habits before you can change them.
Such powerful phrases today. Okay, are you ready for a quick quiz?
Let's do it.
All right, listeners, quiz time. We've covered a lot. Let's see how these have stuck. I'll give you the phrase and 3 options. Pick the best definition. And, hey, feel free to pause the podcast if you need a moment to think.
Good luck.
Okay, first one. To touch grass most nearly means to. Option A. Schedule brief outdoor breaks while still keeping your attention mostly on digital tasks. Option B. step away from screens and reconnect with the real offline world around you for a while. Option C, reduce social media use by muting accounts rather than changing your environment at all right now. Short pause. Okay, what do you think? The correct answer for to touch grass is option B, step away from screens and reconnect with the real offline world around you for a while. Remember we talked about needing that break after being online all week, that real world connection?
Spot on.
Next question. To be caught in a loop most nearly means to. Option A, revisit a problem occasionally while making steady progress on new approaches over time as needed. Option B, organize tasks into cycles so habits become predictable and easier to manage each day consistently. Option C, repeat the same thoughts or actions, making no real progress at all for weeks on end. Short pause. All right, for be caught in a loop, the correct answer is option C. Repeat the same thoughts or actions, making no real progress at all for weeks on end. That's that feeling of being stuck, worrying, but not acting, remember? Like the presentation example.
Yeah, that unproductive cycle.
Question 3. To spiral over a small issue most nearly means to. Option A, become increasingly anxious about a small issue until it feels overwhelming to you over time. Option B, brainstorm many options to generate creative solutions during a tight deadline at work this week. Option C, cool off quickly after a shock and return to normal focus within minutes without overthinking it. Short pause. What about to spiral over? The answer is option A, become increasingly anxious about a small issue until it feels overwhelming to you over time. Think about spiraling over that tiny mistake in the report until it felt like a catastrophe.
That escalation is key.
On to the next. To outsource your decisions most nearly means to. Option A, consult experts for facts while keeping the final choice firmly your own in the end. Option B, rely on other people to choose for you instead of deciding yourself in most situations. Option C, automate reminders so routine choices take less time across a busy week for you each day. Short pause. Okay, outsource your decisions. The correct choice here is option B. Rely on other people to choose for you instead of deciding yourself in most situations. Remember asking friends what to wear and just going with their choice, handing over the reins.
Giving up that agency.
Next, decision fatigue most nearly refers to. Option A, mental exhaustion from making too many choices, which weakens later decisions as the day goes on. Option B, boredom with slow meetings that prevents teams from reaching timely consensus on key decisions at work. Option C, confusion caused by unclear instructions rather than by the number of options you must evaluate. Short pause. Thinking about decision fatigue. The answer is option A, mental exhaustion for making too many choices, which weakens later decisions as the day goes on. That end-of-day feeling where choosing dinner feels impossible. That's it.
Too many choices earlier drain the tank.
Moving along. To build the muscle of a skill most nearly means to. Option A, discover a natural talent without needing deliberate practice or repetition at all over many months. Option B, teach others a method so the skill spreads faster across your team or class this year. Option C, strengthen a skill through repeated practice as if training a muscle with feedback loops. Short pause. To build the muscle of. Correct is option C, strengthen a skill through repeated practice as if training a muscle with feedback loops, like building the muscle of self-discipline through consistent daily goals.
That deliberate strengthening practice.
Penultimate question. To go down a dark path most nearly means to. Option A, take a challenging route that still promises healthy growth and learning over time for most people. Option B, make harmful choices that lead toward a negative or unhealthy state in your life over time. Option C, explore uncomfortable ideas purely for academic debate without real-world effects on your behavior. Short pause. Go down a dark path. The answer is option B, make harmful choices that lead toward a negative or unhealthy state in your life over time. It's that negative trajectory, like the example after someone lost their job and support network.
That gradual harmful slide.
And finally, to track your thought loop most nearly means to. Option A, observe recurring patterns in your thinking to notice what repeats and why over different days. Option B, erase unhelpful memories so they cannot influence your future decisions again in any context. Option C, replace random thoughts with positive slogans whenever stress begins to rise during the day to stay upbeat. Short pause. Last one, track your thought loop. The correct answer is option A. Observe recurring patterns in your thinking to notice what repeats and why over different days. Remember that journaling example, noticing the pattern of self-criticism to then challenge it.
That specific observation of repeated thoughts.
Wow, okay, quiz complete. Hopefully that helps solidify things. What a useful set of phrases we covered today.
Absolutely. Really practical for describing modern life and, our internal states.
You've definitely equipped yourselves, listeners, with a richer vocabulary, everything from digital detoxes to mental patterns.
Yeah, and maybe a final thought to leave you with. Consider how using these phrases, maybe even consciously trying to track your thought loop as you use English. How might that not only improve your language skills, but also deepen your understanding of your own actions, your own decisions in the real world, using the language to understand yourself better.
Ooh, that's fantastic food for thought. Love that connection. And listeners, remember, the journey to confident English speaking is ongoing. You can definitely explore more lessons practiced with real people over at SpeakDuo.com.
Keep building that muscle.
Exactly. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive, if you found it helpful, please do consider leaving us a 5-star review. It genuinely helps us get these language explorations out to more people.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, everyone. See you next time.